Argue.
That's fun. I've got this trophy, which is a 2021 almost finished Game of the Year award that a lovely fan sent us. Mama Walla, was that? I'm getting a username mixed up. I think it was Mama Walla was their username.
I've got a fuck Jay's vibes and a respect Jay's vibes that I believe Snowman had sent back in the day. Downstairs in the studio. And as I say, I've got Mr. Snuggle Hugs as well on a shelf. Oh, and I've got Rishik.
Oh, lovely Rishik.
Yeah, we're the sentimental ones.
Very much so. Thanks, Jackie.
Who wants it and wants it? Advanced mood board, yes. Tiny mini Alan Jones sequel book. Now then, I do have one of those. I did have two of them, but they are really, really easy to lose because they are super fucking small.
So I mean, there's one somewhere in your house.
Somewhere between my old house and this house, I reckon.
Right.
I'm going to see if I can find the other one though, because I do have some tiny ones. No, I've just gone to the cupboard it could be in, and it's so full of crap. I'm not even attempting it. What's going on?
But no, I'm getting emotional because of that award. Lol. I've been in this fandom for quite a few years now. Not the person on the award. I'm just going off. Well, yeah, we're reminiscing. We've got nostalgia for it now. That's what's happened. We've turned the corner into being
It's so old.
far enough away that there's nostalgia. Is it a retro game yet? Maybe.
Yeah. At what point is it a national treasure?
When all of the nation knows what it is, probably.
Oh yeah, never then.
Yeah.
There's an actress. Are you watching Slow Horses? The new
I'm
season of
not. It
Slow
is on my
Horses.
list. It's on my Apple list.
There's an actress in it called Victoria Hamilton, who's very, very good, who I used to know years and years ago. And we were debating this weekend whether she is on the verge of national treasuredom or whether she's blown it, and not quite got far enough because she was in The Crown and, you know.
Interesting. Victoria Hamilton. I don't think I know. Maybe I
I think
recognize
you'd
her.
recognise her from
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I do recognize her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like to be national treasure, there needs to almost be sort of one or two very big things that you're kind of associated with, like your Del
What is
Boy.
that for, like Judy Dench? Judy Dench is a national treasure.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, that's true.
Or Sir Ian.
Or
Sir Ian,
Sirian,
Sir
I
Ian,
guess
Sir Ian, Sir
Gandalf,
Ian.
but I think that's more of a. I think he was a national treasure pre-Gandalf.
Yeah. I think like Richard Ayoade is probably on his way to being a national treasure.
Mm.
Stephen Fry. Are you
He's
watching
almost
that
like a level.
Celebrity Apprentice? Celebrity Traitors.
Traitors, yes.
Oh,
It's
that's an
great,
old
isn't
one.
it? It's
Oh.
really fun.
I was watching it on Thursday when Charlie turned up for the evening. And he said as he came in through the front door, because he's got his own key and stuff, all he could hear from upstairs was me going, "Oh, it's so brilliant!" Like that, just really having a very good time watching it.
It's
Absolutely.
great. The
Who's a
choices
national
that they were
treasure in the
made.
not? Who would be a national treasure in the not
Great
broadcast
question.
universe? Peter Clement is a
Jeremy.
national treasure who runs for prime minister. I think, don't you?
Yeah, I'd say he's a national treasure. That's the whole his whole character, isn't it? Is that he becomes
Yeah,
prime minister by being a national treasure.
yeah, and he
It's weird,
does.
isn't it? I feel like thinking about not broadcast now, which is kind of it was very much intentional, but like the way the UK especially and slightly the US has gone in the last year, I feel like it's a lot more prescient still to it, you know. I feel like there's an awful
Yeah,
lot of barragey stuff going on in NFB that we sort of were warning
yeah,
about, but it's a little bit too close for comfort in some ways, certain things.
yeah. A lot of not for broadcasters become a little too close for comfort in quite a lot of ways. I hope that this is kind of where the similarities end and we're not. I mean, we didn't spot technocracy at all.
No, no. I guess we've kind of
Well, no.
deliberately sort of distanced ourselves from technology,
Yeah,
didn't we? Really?
yeah,
Yeah. What's mad? Like, not for broadcast. It's like a pre-AI world.
yeah.
Like
It's
it was
pre-internet
created
world,
without
that
the
one.
knowledge of ChatGPT.
Hmm.
That's how old we are.
If
We
Chat
wrote it
if
all ourselves.
ChatGPT and that had been around, do you think we would have used it? And what would we have used it for? Den and I were talking about this today, earlier
Mm.
on, and he was saying he thinks we'd have used it for the headline photos. He says Johnny Hamslee's floating in space with like a condom on his head. You could now make that image like that. You wouldn't have to spend hundreds of pounds on a dodgy green screen and finding the background
Yeah, but there's a real bad,
and
and understandably a very bad look around it, right? Like I think people that, yeah, players, including me, don't necessarily feel good about it when there's AI art and stuff. So I think personally, if it was today, I would be very skeptical, not skeptical,
think we'd use it for concept
cautious.
art, like holding art. So it would have put John Charles out of a job, drawing stick
Maybe,
figures.
probably,
Yeah,
realistically, I think so. Yeah, I think like it's a good tool for someone like me who has something in their head that they want to communicate to people. Uh, so to get a quick image, but I would like to
yeah,
think that using it for that is one side they were, and then using final art, making sure you still employ artists. I don't know. I feel like it was a different case for us because we are never big enough or have enough money that we ever employed concept artists in any real. We employed John Charles and we employed Sam
yeah.
for like like a couple days, and then
Hmm.
maybe over the course of the 5 year project, it was probably a couple weeks worth of work across 5 years.
Yeah,
So like, whereas I'd like to think if Not Games had become a bigger, more successful ongoing thing that grew, where you needed that all the time, that you'd want to hire an artist rather than. Whereas for someone small like us, it would make perfect sense, financially speaking.
yeah,
Ethically, maybe not, but
yeah.
at least
Well, you
financially,
probably
it's a
these days
perfect
you
case
would
for AI.
hire. I assume you would hire an artist who uses AI as one of the tools of their work. So you would hire an
Mm.
artist and you would expect them to be maybe four times as productive as they were without AI tools. But as we're learning by the sheer amount of slop flooding the fucking internet, actually a great AI art making device in the hands of someone with no artistic sense is still not going to get you what you want with no touch. It's just going to get nonsense. Whereas a good visual artist who knows what to ask for and what colors and composition, is probably going to get a better result.
I
Who
see
knows?
you've someone in the chat has posted they've been continuing practicing making coming up later segments. That's very
Interesting.
specific art form. That's very cool. I mean, it does look like one of ours. Um, good on you, I say.
That's a nice one. I'm just looking at the fair of them. Yeah, they're both very pretty.
Yeah, I think Lobster's got a very good point though, actually, that the headline photos have the sort of silliness that you don't really get with AI,
Yeah,
because
but
AI
it's
does
also
have that
really,
very generalized mm, okayness that you don't ever get any of the little fun details that a person would come up with.
here's a question. Like, let's say, well, in fact, in the game I'm making, part of the story does involve an AI, not majorly, but there is an AI that is being used to generate art as part of the story. The art that is supposed to be generated by that AI within my game world, should I use an AI to generate that, or should I pay a human artist to try and do art that looks like an AI did it?
that sounds more fun and more interesting, but also
It
way
does,
more
and more
expensive.
expensive, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
way more expensive. It really depends, I'd say, about what you're going to say about the AI. Because if the overwhelming thing is AI is bad and we should, do something about it, I think using an AI to make that art is not
yeah,
necessarily a good look. But if it's
yeah.
something a more nuanced take, or it's a more like actually AI is, I don't know, useful in certain circumstances, then it would make sense to use AI. But
Do you
again, I
guess
do
if
think
people
there's
use
a
AI to put in the Peter statue during the bombing? I mean, I don't think an AI could do that with
yeah,
video.
I'm not sure it would look
I
correct.
mean, we would have done it with CGI. So yes, we would have. We definitely would not have employed a sculptor to make like
But
at
no
its
one would have done that
purest.
in the last 20 years. We would have taken a photo of
Of
Peter, of
Peter, yeah,
Roger, and then we would have put a filter and sort of made him. Maybe we would have photo scanned him
yeah,
and put him
into a
into
3D
Blender and put.
modeling
Yeah,
package.
that's
But
probably
what
what
we
we would have
wouldn't
done.
have done is make a sculpture, right? So we already were going to cheat, however it was going to go, because the
Yeah, that's where
purist
the line is
option,
funny, isn't it? Because
right, putting
yeah,
sculptors out of business.
but we're also, we're taking a picture with a digital camera and we're putting film developers out
Yeah,
of business. Like there is,
yeah.
yeah, it does feel AI does feel different. I don't feel like I'm smart enough or sort of well read enough to make any cases for it though. Like, because I think all
No,
pro
I
AI
agree.
folks, their arguments are pretty strong. Like my instinct would be to say, well, they're taking in and all of other artists' artwork and scraping it and learning from it and making their own. I thought, well, someone, that's probably you, Joe, said, isn't that what artists do?
Artists
Which is like,
do,
well, you can't
yeah.
argue with that. You look at
But I
other
saw
people's
this.
work and learn how to do it.
I saw this interview this weekend. Louis C.K. was being interviewed, and they were asking him about AI, and he said, like, he said, people now, if they've got to write, a letter to somebody, they write it in bullet points, and then they give the bullet points to Chat GPT and say, "Can you flesh this out into a politely worded, nice letter?" And then the person gets the letter, and it's 3 or 4 pages long, and they
And
put
I
it
can
into Chat
summarize it.
GPT, and they say, "Can you put it into bullet points?" And as Louis C.K. was saying, "What the fuck is that? Like, what is that? Why are we not just
Just
sending
sending
bullet
the
points?"
kilobytes. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good point.
it's really interesting. And I think, like you, we've got to come to some decisions about this quite fast because it is coming, and there will be other games companies and other people out there who are using it and are able to produce really good games at a tenth of the price. Because it's not, they're not. I'm not saying an AI is going to start making great games, not for years, but an artist using AI. I mean, I know a couple of artists who use AI now as part of their work, where they used to, go hunting online
For
for
like a stock
ages
image
to
or
find
whatever.
reference imagery. They get the AI to generate reference imagery until they see something they like, and then they use that to begin their sort of creative process. But I don't feel that they're not artists because of that,
No.
any more than the
And
fact
where
they
that
don't
line is
make their own
drawn,
paint, or like skin rabbits for their own brushes. They just go and buy them at the shop or whatever. I think
I
that if
do think
AI
there's a
is,
problem with the sort of ownership of AI. Like that is
yes,
definitely like a line that I can draw confidently that's a difference between a human artist learning from other people's work. I do think that there is something different and immoral about OpenAI scraping the internet and just
yeah,
taking it all for training data
I
and then
completely agree.
profiting billions and billions from it.
Yeah, and then their corporate line being, well, you have to specifically tell us that we're not allowed to steal your stuff. Because I feel a bit like, well, I used to torrent quite a lot of movies, but Universal never wrote to me personally and told me
And ask me
personally
not
I
to.
wasn't
Yeah.
allowed to. So I'm going to make the assumption that it's okay for me to steal stuff unless you
Yeah, and we
specifically
have to
tell me
one by
I'm not.
one. Yeah.
That's a bit
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, for sure. Saw a really interesting debate just now with Yanis Varoufakis, who I absolutely love.
Yeah, I love Yanis
He was
Varoufakis. Yeah, I agree.
debating the guy from Google. Oh, what's his name? He's one of the DeepMind researchers, basically, and he's making
Uh-huh.
this really interesting argument that he's not saying we should get rid of all this technology and get rid of AI. It's just should be like socialized and democratized. It's kind of
Yes.
at a point now where what Google owns kind of is almost something that we need. Like, and
Yeah, for
so
humanity.
yeah, and the fact that a very, very small group of people, as we've seen since the Trump presidency, can like completely flip-flop and really control and manipulate and kowtow to an administration is probably a perfect example of why really that should not be held in a private corporation's hands anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what you do about that, as they kind of did build it, and
Yeah. Well, maybe you just do have to take it into public ownership. In the end, that's
yeah, I
what
think you
China
probably
kind
do.
of does. They part own everything. Angelic Chris, which is a lovely name, and I hope you are Angelic Chris. Generative AI at the moment is bad because it also references from real life, and if we can't tell what's real over the internet anymore, we are extremely fucked. See,
That's
that's
the
really interesting to
bl-
me. 'Cause- sorry, do you want to go
no,
ahead?
no, go ahead, go. I was just commenting. Yeah,
I'm going to say, and I don't know Angelic Chris at all, but I'm going to say that's kind of interesting. And Angelic Chris, I think you're probably younger than me because I remember saying, because of the internet, people don't know what's real anymore. I would say we already have that problem on social media and
I
what
guess
have
it's
you.
just another
But
tool, isn't it? I think
it's
that is
another
true.
step away from a collective truth.
There's definitely a yeah, for sure. There's a point at which, like my parents' generation and older, particularly, not universally, but many of them, like someone typing something on the internet and saying this thing is true. I guess they're from an age where if you read some, but even then, I guess you would say stuff written in the newspapers, most people don't necessarily trust word for word that that's true,
No,
but I
but at
guess
least
many
you could
people do.
sue a newspaper.
Yeah,
If
yeah, that's
someone
true.
lies about you, right? If someone lies about you on Facebook, good luck even finding them. And then you
Yeah,
can't sell and you can't sue Facebook. Like that decision that was made that social media providers are not responsible for everything that is allowed on their platform
yeah.
just
I think
completely
within this like
destroyed.
post-truth era that's
Yeah.
terrifying, where like even actually before AI, since kind of 2016-ish, the Trumps and the Borises of the world, you can just kind of lie now. And that's not even
Yeah.
just in politics. Like I think like back in my day of the internet, of YouTube circa 2010, all those years ago, like there was a sort of
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Stayed at a five-star resort and there was a beach nearby where I took this photo. No. Yeah. 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 I can hear you just fine. Can everybody else hear Al? Can they hear me? Well, that might be a foolish move, Al, because I don't know how to bring you back onto the stage. Oh,
I'm
you
back
know how to
on the
bring yourself
stage.
back onto the stage. Okay, well,
Can't keep me down.
I feel redundant. That's amazing. Can you hear Al now, everybody?
Hello? Can you hear me now? Jay is slightly quieter than
Yay,
I. Yeah,
finally Alex fixed mic. It fixed. The powers of Al.
great.
Good.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
I was making quite interesting, I
He
think, point
was.
about how back in the day you actually had to tell the truth in like your YouTube titles and YouTube thumbnails, and now the Mr. Beast of the world don't bother and no one really cares. I think that's a symptom of the same post-truth thing where we don't really care if stuff's true, which is very sad.
I'm not pro AI art, says Lobster, but I don't see it as absolute evil. Sometimes it's hard to come up with something and there's a real need for inspiration. Okay, good.
I think
I'm
that's true.
interested.
I find it. I don't know what you think, Jay. I it's one of those things. It's like it's hard to put back in the bottle because it's there. Like I'm trying to learn coding at the moment, and I'm working on like a little project, and it's really useful AI for coding, and it knows loads, and it's almost I try to use it as like a really good search engine where I
Mm.
can ask it a really specific question, and it will help me. But it's so tempting when you know it just sat there on your other monitor to just ask it to write something. It's so hard to push yourself to be like, I'm going to spend an hour writing
Yeah,
something on a piece of paper, figuring out how to do it, trying it not working when I know I can get a working version in
a-
5 seconds.
absolutely. George was saying the other day as well that there's a big outcry if you use AI art or AI music, but no one gives a shit if you do AI code. No one seems to care. No one's asking, "Oh,
I
did
guess
you
they don't
code
see
it?"
it. No one's
Yeah,
trawling through. But I do think there is,
no one's
at
fighting
least in
for the
sort of the
coding.
games industry, people are worried that programmers and stuff are going to be replaced by AI, and that it does write currently quite shit, non-scalable sort of code, and it can just hallucinate and it can be really bad. But that probably won't be forever.
Well,
But
here's a counter view on that I thought was interesting that George again said is like, you ask an AI, like we looked at Bezi, which is a
mhm,
Unity AI that kind of looks at your Unity
it's like
project.
integrated into the project, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
and it's not ready yet, and in my opinion, and it can't do half the things you want. It can do the odd thing, but nothing special. But anyway, what it does do is it duplicates a lot of code. So rather than writing it once, separating it into a component and then calling that from everywhere, so that when you come later on down the line to want to make a change, you only have to change it in one place. Instead, it will have iterations of the same loops and structures all over its code, which is really bad coding practice for humans. But George was saying if the AI is making the changes, does it actually matter if there are 100 iterations
That's
of
a good
that
point
code?
because it can
Because it
do it in
can
a
sweep through and
split
do the
second.
lot. So it is
Yeah.
writing code for its capabilities. And actually, then it might be better to have multiple iterations because you've not got the step of having to reach out to the other chunk and come back. So you're saving cycles by putting it exactly where you need it and not calling it from somewhere else.
Right, because you're basically offline. You're doing the extra work
Yeah,
offline with the AI doing it rather than the code at runtime having to
yeah.
do the extra work of finding that one piece of
Isn't
code.
that really
That is
interesting?
very interesting.
Yes. So it changes
Oh,
what is good code. It might be right.
it gets towards that thing of like where there's the code where a person can't understand it anymore.
Yeah.
Like a few steps on from that, where it gets to the point of well, if the AI can understand it and fix it, that's all that matters. Soon it'll be you kind of have to ask the AI to do all the bug fixing because you'll never be able to get in there and figure it out.
Okay, Uwu
Ooh,
says, see what you think of this. Tata Consultancy Services has the view that AI could go in one of three ways. As we approach AGI, it could become used to support authoritarianism, definitely. It could be used to
definitely.
support current government processes, almost undoubtedly, in my opinion, or it could replace many processes with ones that are much more fair. Well, that's an argument another friend of mine was making was like, democracy hasn't done that well. It's done all right, but if you look around the world, it's not
Yeah.
perfect.
It's not doing great right now,
No,
arguably.
right? I
Yeah, I
think
think
what
it's going
will
to do a bit of
happen,
all of those things probably,
yeah,
and not
I
as
think
much, and
AI
not in the
will end
places
up,
that we'd like.
yeah, I think it will end up running everything because I think what will happen is each government department will start to integrate and use it because departments that use AI will get better results more quickly.
Cheaply
And
at
then
least, yeah.
eventually every department will just kind of be asking the AI, what's the right move? And although we will still have elections, we'll just be picking who talks to the AI, so the power will be so far above that.
What do you think, or maybe anyone in the chat that knows more about this than I do, that I've heard about this kind of that as more stuff is AI produced, like the more there's a really good, do you know Kurzgesagt? They're a YouTube channel that
Oh,
make these really good educational videos. German, I think. And it's like in a nutshell, I think. But they did one about AI. They were making a video about brown dwarfs or something, I think, and they were researching it, and they thought it was quite near the beginning of LLMs becoming a thing. So they thought they'd give them a go after they've been making, well-researched and edited videos for over 10 years, and they send them to experts and professors to fact check them and all this kind of stuff. So they're like, let's experiment if AI could help us write these scripts better. And it hallucinated a bunch of studies, made up people's names, as you can imagine, all this kind of stuff, and some facts that sounded right but were kind of misleading or not quite right.
Yuck.
So they decided not to use it, and they went back to working on it on their own. And just coincidentally, some AI slop YouTube channel put up a video about brown dwarfs that contained all of these kind of clearly what they now knew were these AI. Yes, thank you, Mr. Music Man. That's the one. Yeah, that contained all of these kind of misleading facts, slightly hallucinated facts, all this kind of stuff. And now that is the kind of go-to video on the internet about brown dwarfs, which kind of contains all this AI hallucination.
Oh,
And does this feed into some kind of like feedback
oh,
loop
it does.
where now
You've got to
when
train
the
it.
next AI looks at this thing, you now look at this video, and as we know, no one ever fucking checks the footnote trail back through time, and just it will become fact. And do we just end up in an absolute nightmare where there are no facts anymore and we don't know anything because we've just, or maybe that leads to AI's downfall where we go, actually, this is bullshit because AI becomes really stupid because it's just reading other slightly wrong AI. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they add
That
the
must,
feedback loop being that it can't get any smarter because it's now feasting on itself. So there is
yeah,
no
a
not
smart, if
real.
we were smart, we would have prevented it from doing that probably.
Um,
MM says AI feedback loop is a big problem. We'll not only see it with content and misinformation, but also the visual generation. AI using AI art to generate AI art. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
DJ says, what do we think of the Sora 2 social media platform? I've got to say, DJ, I've seen YouTubes about it, but I don't have a code for it. You have to get an invite code for it. And because I'm now making my little game and only mixing with like 3 people, none of whom are doing that, I don't actually have a code to get on Sora 2. But I am
It's the
impressed
video
by.
generator one, right?
Yeah, it's the video generator that makes vertical video, and it's like a social media platform. And you could make your
It's a social
avatar of
media
you.
platform.
Yeah, it's trying to be
So it's
like
like a TikTok,
like
but
a
you're
TikTok,
sharing
but
AI video.
entirely AI. Yeah, I think it's only iPhone at the moment, but it's
Okay.
really good, and it was clearly trained on TikTok. Have you seen OpenAI? I think it's OpenAI. I might get the facts wrong here. One of the AI companies is suing one of the other AI companies for training its AI on data that they feel was their data set, right? So these fucking hypocrites are going out and
The
ripping off
stolen data.
everybody. Stolen data. You used our stolen data. It's
We
unreal.
stole
It's like
that
a
data
gang war.
first.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck's sake.
I know. And pretty soon, there was a guy on the Daily Show was saying, pretty soon, actually, the majority of the world's employees will be subscriptions to AIs rather than employees. So eventually, the AI companies just get everyone's wages directly. And then what happens? I mean, that's the other problem is if we're looking at mass unemployment, we're surely going to have to look at universal basic income
Yeah,
because
that's what we are.
we've got
We
to.
surely should have to.
So we
In
might
any,
get
in, go on.
I was just saying we might get forced into that Federation Star Trek society that I've always
That would be
wanted
nice.
because
I wish that would be the case, but I just don't think that it is. I just think we're never going to, without some sort of force by government, we're never, the people that own OpenAI or and all these companies are not going to gladly just give up their profits, and their shareholders aren't just going to be like, yeah, maybe we should give this to UBI, I think we'd have to
except
take
if
it
there is no
somehow.
UBI, where are the consumers to buy their AI?
Yeah.
Like to buy all the goods if you haven't got. Oh, this is interesting. Patrick and Jeremy's husband, our school. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm going to assume that's a secondary school, Patrick and Jeremy's husband, or a college because your language. Our AI, our school forces us to use AI to study AI coding, AI art, everything. When you say forces
What?
you, do you mean that if you don't use it, you are actively punished? Or do you mean everyone else in your class is using it? So if you don't use it, you
That's
can't
definitely
possibly
true.
get the job done and you fall behind. Can you
Got friends now
expand on
who are
that, please?
Yeah, I've got friends who are teachers, and it seems that like teaching now at secondary, and I think probably university level as well, is basically like spot the AI, and it's now basically
Yeah.
impossible. Apart from when people are really
YouTube
stupid, and the
have
first
added,
line of their essay starts with, "Yeah, I can write you an essay about that." Apparently, that
yeah,
happens
with,
quite a
and
lot.
then it's got one of those long hyphens.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
the
that's
M
the real
dashes.
giveaway. Yeah. YouTube has added A/B testing for YouTube titles and thumbnails, which does ultimately show you that lying is so much better for your channel. So
Yeah,
clickbaiting is kind of inevitable. That's a response to your earlier point, I think.
yeah, yeah.
From
I know that's why they do it. It's because it performs better.
yeah,
But like lots of things, this is an inflammatory thing to say that I'm doing on purpose. Slavery is quite good for that as well. If you want to
yeah.
make the most money out of your land, like slaves is the way to go.
Well,
But
yeah.
like
And
we
then
don't
what's
do
the
that because it's wrong
easiest?
and really,
Yeah.
really wrong.
What's the easiest product to sell? Crack cocaine. It fucking sells itself.
Yeah,
Anything really addictive and criminal will
it's like
get
I
definitely
was
sell.
lamenting the fact that content and making videos about stuff that was interesting was hard and working hard. It's the same as fact checking news, selling
Yeah.
newspapers or whatever online media with stuff that's not true is much easier because people get angry and get fired up about it and blah blah all the things that we know. But
Like
I
John
think we
Oliver
shouldn't do
today went
that.
on about the woman who runs the Free Press online sort of right wing newspaper who's now been put in charge of CBS News
Hello,
because they're
Paul.
heading right.
Paul Baverstock is here. I'd
Oh, Mr.
invite you to
B.
speak, but I don't know if he would like to speak or
If you
whether he's
want
just
to,
here
would
to
you like
hang
to
out.
speak, Mr. B?
If you'd
Or
like
are
to
you
join
here
us
to
and just chat rubbish for 10 minutes, Paul, just write in the
before
chat
we?
and
We're here till
we'll pull
6.
you up. Yeah.
Gosh, there's so much. God, I love our community, man. There's so many interesting things written here about AI and
I knew that people here would be more sort of on up to speed with it than me because I
yeah.
sort of have feelings about it, but I don't really know enough about it all.
If any of you have
It
a
scares
Sora
me.
2 invite code, please DM it to me. I would really like to try Sora 2. I'm fascinated by AI. I don't
Jay's
know
my
what I
kind of
would make.
canary in the coal mine of AI. Like Jay
Ha-
kind of keeps me
yeah.
up to date. Happy to speak. All right, come on in,
Have they
Paul.
made any not for
Oh,
broadcast
here he is.
Sora 2 stuffs?
That's a great
Hey,
question.
Mr. B.
Hello,
You
Paul.
appear to be muted.
Best turn the speaker on. Hello.
Right, Paul's
Hello.
now
How are
going to
you
take
doing?
all the attention for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
If
great.
you have any
Sorry
questions
about
for
that. I
Paul,
got quite interested in listening to your AI debate.
yeah, it's right.
And
It's been a really nice stream today. We've really been
yeah,
into it.
Do you
I
have any
joined,
thoughts on AI to add?
not really. I mean, I joined just as you were saying what the schools force you to use AI,
Yeah, I
and then I
want to
was
know more
hooked. I was
about
like,
that.
what are they doing now? So,
If I were a teacher, I'd be wanting to make sure, because that's the thing that worries me the most, is that I think AI could be a really useful tool if we sort of regulate it properly. But I do worry that kids are not going to learn the kind
anything?
of yeah, yeah, literally anything, and that actually we kind of do need people to have those skills and investigate stuff and be able to structure sentences and arguments and all this kind of stuff. And I worry about
Yeah,
that.
it's funny. I've seen just in passing people's like again comments from teachers going, it's very obvious when AI is being used. And then some students have trained their AI companions with a sample of their work or several samples, so it can at least write in the same style and not be quite so obvious. But again, yeah,
Getting better and better, isn't
it's
it?
crazy to
That's the
think
thing.
that
That's the thing.
there's
It's right
so
now.
much
It's as
that you're
bad as it
being
will ever be.
encouraged to use it. I would have thought it would be the opposite.
It's just going to keep improving. It's never going to be as bad as it is today. Sora 2 can do Will Smith eating spaghetti. It doesn't look crazy.
Yeah. And the same with the tech stuff. Like I remember a couple of years ago, yeah, it must have probably a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, if someone wrote something using AI, like an email or something, I would be able to recognize it straight away because it would just feel wrong. Whereas now, I don't think I could tell
No.
if something was written with AI,
I'm not sure I
other
could
than
tell
if
if I
it's
was
not that
talking
interesting.
like to a chatbot. they're so good now. I'm not sure I could tell it wasn't just someone in another
A
country
human.
with slight cultural differences in their expression.
Yeah.
FNL says a law drop, which I really like as the beginning of a sentence. Law drop. I knew when to turn tail from marketing when my marketing strategy professor promoted AI usage. This professor wanted assignments to be completed using AI. I now know nothing about marketing strategy. At least I was able to qualify for an
Jeez.
internship. I mean, that's worrying.
Yes.
Here's a
Alith,
and
AI makes you lazy a lot. I can see
yeah,
that when
that's
I mentor
exactly
my
it.
college students at work.
So personally, a very, very specific problem that only I will have, I don't like about the rise of AI is that capitalized AI on any computer looks like the word owl. So often I would just think that it's about me, and it isn't. And it will be like, someone will just post like, "Oh, AI sucks," and like, "Oh, someone's just saying owl sucks." That's mean.
You. You're
I think we
fine.
need to, yeah, we need to normalize fonts with L's that don't look like capital I's. That's what we need.
Yes. They should be using the
Wow.
small I, just to be clear, everywhere.
Yes.
There's some
I
such
insist
good
upon it.
stuff here.
I
I
also have a very similar
oh,
problem with my work, Alex, if there's any consolation. There is an acronym that we use where I work in my day job, which is very dull, it's insurance, but it's PI, a capital P, small I. But we have another product that's PL. So when people just use an I, it's like, well, what is it?
Which
They're very different things. Use that small I.
work acronyms, they eat themselves, don't they? They just become ludicrous very quickly.
Yes. It's ages
wow.
since I've seen you, Al. How you doing? I
I
love
know. I was
the
just
neat
thinking
book
that.
space behind you. Very unlike
Thank
my
you. That's new.
neat book space behind me.
This
Yeah.
feels wrong without you
Two very
making
different sides of the same coin.
you need an enormous sandwich, Paul. That's what you need to complete that
Yeah.
shot. Listen to this.
I
Sorry.
do enjoy you've got a full-on Henry though, Paul. That's good. I respect you've got a
Oh yeah,
proper
you've
Henry
noticed
Hoover.
old Blue Henry down there.
He's
Yeah,
blue.
He wasn't
That's
in the
all.
original. Oh, hello, there's me.
there it
Going
is.
by.
Our
That's the
teachers.
most confusing thing is so many people in the Discord use pictures of you. Like literally Patrick and Jeremy's husband there has a picture of you from that scene as their picture. I kind of feel like I see you all the time, but it's actually just people
Well, you see an
pretending to be
image.
you.
But,
Yeah.
now I'm in a very comfy knit, so very much not Jeremy. But yeah, it
Wow.
is
Patrick and
strange
Jeremy's
that that
husband.
background obviously is very similar to the one we used before.
Yeah.
Our teachers give us an AI bot to help tutor us. So the AI makes us custom flashcards, essays, summaries, all AI. So you have a what type of school? How I don't give us a rough idea of Patrick and Jeremy's husband. Are you two? Are you 1P person? Are you what age? What type of school? Like it,
Yeah. You're talking the
what
high school,
secondary, high school, like college?
college?
It's really interesting to me what's happening there because obviously
That's
wouldn't
cool.
know.
I wonder, yeah, high school. I wonder whether it's like I don't know where in the world you are, but like here in the UK, education is it's probably similar all over. Like teachers are massively underpaid and massively overstretched, and all this kind of stuff. That I kind of don't necessarily blame
See,
teachers for
I feel
using those
less
tools because
bad about that sort of use of AI, where the AI is helping the teacher or
High
the
school in
or the
Indonesia.
teaching in that way, like to look after a student, give them more tailored learning if it can do that well. But to encourage the students to be using it all the time, it's I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea, but
This
it
is
seems like you don't get the education, which is why you're there in the first place. Yeah. Anyway.
and
interestingly,
go on.
they're in Indonesia, high school in Indonesia.
That's where DJ is from.
That's where DJ is as well. I know DJ's just gone, oh my God, I'm in Indonesia too. It's been really nice to see, actually.
We're big in Indonesia, it turns out. Who knew?
Yeah. Or
I
we're on at the right time in Indonesia. That
That's
could be what it
possibly
is.
it. That must be
And
it.
speaking of time, we are at the end.
We are. I do have to dash off quite promptly, but feel free if you guys want to stick around and chat, please go ahead.
Paul,
But
do you
I
want to
do
give it
have to-
another 5-10 minutes and just answer any questions?
Yeah, sure. I can do
I
that.
reckon I could stay another 5-10, but I've got to get back to George. I promised him I'd come back.
Well,
but
lovely
I
to chat.
run a little.
Lovely to see you all in the chat, but especially lovely, Paul, to see you as I don't get to catch up with you.
Oh,
But
see you
yes,
later. Nice to see you.
yes. All right, we'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
See you,
Bye.
Al. Lovely to see you, brother. Well, it is fascinating to me, Paul, that since you've arrived, the number of people in the chat has gone up and not been vanishing again. You have what I think is called character appeal, star
Thank you.
appeal.
Well, you helped right there. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but then nobody ever cares, do they? Nobody ever cares about that. What they care about is the teeth that said the line.
You're very poorly lit, Jay. Sorry to point this out.
I know. All the lighting is on that side of the room. So even if I turn on more lights, it just puts me in a more contrasting darkness. I am charging up my little streaming webcam lamp, but because I've been online all day with George, like it ran out. Look, there you go. That's better. Now I look human.
Oh, that's
again.
lovely. Now you're illuminated. That's all you need. Just one more.
Yeah, just needed a light in front of me. Although obviously now I need to blink considerably. Right, we've got about 9 minutes. Any questions for Paul? Get them in now because he may not be here next month.
Chat GTP. I haven't put a prompt in Chat GPT that I can remember. I have used Gemini and I tried using Copilot for work stuff. It didn't go well. I have used Gemini a couple of times.
Copilot is Chat GPT, I believe, because Microsoft.
Oh, no, I have without realizing it.
Yeah, I think Microsoft own a chunk of OpenAI, but I use Gemini. I really like Gemini.
I've got on better with Gemini.
The other day, I asked Nano Banana to do some mouth shapes for me. I had this lovely drawing of a character, and I wanted them to lip sync. And obviously, that's just a very laborious process of drawing the lips in the L shape, drawing the lips in the O shape, drawing them in the A shape. So I just used Nano Banana and just said, just change the lips, give me L, give me O, give me A, and it took minutes to do what previously would have been hours of completely unsatisfying, laborious work, before you can actually get back to the creative work. And it felt, it was the first time I'd come away from an AI art thing going, actually, that's really good. That did that really well, really accurately. It didn't hallucinate. It didn't add things, all of that. Right, here we go. Questions, Paul.
But there's a lot of questions that have flown by.
Yeah.
One about coming up on Channel 1. That's the first thing I've caught properly. No, I haven't read that. That's not to say I wouldn't read that. I didn't know of its existence.
Where's that? Where's that?
That's that. Go back to that original prompt question. I used it for really mundane things. Like I wanted a collective scheduling of various motor racing events across various series put into chronological order. And I was just too lazy to research it. So I went, Gemini, these are the parameters, find stuff. And it did it very well. I used, I think it's Nano Banana, more just to try it out. I took an aeroplane picture of a mosquito, as it happens, if that means anything to anyone, World War II plane. And I said, all right, change the squadron codes. Like there's 3 big letters they normally put on the side. And it screwed up a little bit because it assumed I wanted to remove another marking to do that. And then I tweaked my prompt and then it did it very well. And I said, leave that bit in. So I was like, oh, it is very good at that. I don't know what I would use that for, but I was just seeing how good it was at manipulating images, but not really changing them.
It's fascinating to see its development, how it's getting better. Right, Paul, I'm going to throw questions at you. From Alith. Paul, I've seen you're going to be part of a game video horror project. Do you want to speak on that?
I will. I am going to be in The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker 2. For I was not available or even known to anyone when they made the first one several years ago. So I have already filmed this and I'm excited for when it will come out. I play a character called Killian, and one of several patients that is at a mental hospital of some description. Apparently with an open policy, so we're not really psycho, or are we?
You're like the Sean Bean of should this person be in an insane asylum? Like Jeremy ends up in one. Like you're just doing all these characters who probably
this is more
shouldn't
like
be in
a
one.
care in the community setup. So,
Yeah.
this person is allowed to come and go, but he chooses to stay at the place for various reasons. And you, the player, have to then decide whether Killian or indeed any of the other characters are responsible for a murder. So, yes, that is the very, very basic setup.
And
It's
roughly
produced
when
by
can people?
Deveki Studios.
When can we expect to see it?
Broadly 2026, but they
Okay.
haven't actually said anything more than that. They have said they're kind of waiting to hopefully reach a certain point with their wish lists before they really go for it in promoting it. I think that's to do with, you would probably know more about than I would, Jay. If they have a certain number on their wish list, when they go live and sell it, it might grab them some
That's right.
some info or some publicity on the front page of Steam.
Well,
So if anyone could wishlist it, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, so please do that. Please go and wishlist Dr. Decker. That would be nice. They're lovely people as well, the people who make those games. And
yes, they were fantastic team.
yeah,
really nice. Really enjoyed working with them.
well worth a bit of support. Here's another question. Question to Paul from Lobstergorn. What was your favourite scene to film in Timely? And I would add, and why? Like, what was it about it that made? But it's fun to film, not the one that came out the best. Which one did you enjoy?
Fun to film. I really enjoyed doing the Shakespeare one. I had a lot of fun filming that.
Why was that?
Night of Eggs.
Was it the costume as well? Because you did look quite cool in that one.
So that was nice. I remember picking out one of the eggs and being relieved it wasn't a real egg, because that could create a hell of a mess. Yeah. As soon as it was a fake egg, it's like, great, I can do some sleight of hand here. Yeah. I didn't tell you guys I was doing this. I had it hidden away, and then was like, Night of Eggs! Yeah. And that was terrific fun. Yeah, that was a fun one. I really enjoyed doing that.
I quite enjoyed the one where we threw water over everyone except you. We threw it over Magnus and Chester, and they had to come on soaked, and you had to just go, where are they?
That was nice. I liked. Oh, it was fun to do. It was a kind of a moment that was nice when we had boat show. That's all I can remember. Boat shoe. I can't remember the lady's name who plays her. It's really bad.
Helena Canterbury Boat Shoe. Yeah, what is her name? Oh my god.
But we were doing a scene with her, and I think she slightly changed the line in the moment, which threw me slightly. But she said, "You have lovely soft skin." I was like, "Oh, okay." So do you. And then it was just before the button press. So that was trying to make sure we didn't all corpse. And as soon as you called cut to Jay, several people did corpse, but it didn't matter because we had got it, and it was the one you used. So that was quite nice. I liked that.
Angelic Chris says, have you read the awesome not-for-broadcast fan magazine called Coming Up on Channel 1? Now, I've got to tell you, Paul, I didn't know this existed until
I mentioned that I didn't know it existed when that was the first thing I saw in the questions before you took control of the questions. So I'll say it again. I hadn't seen that until literally this evening, but I will take a look at that later.
Someone linked
but no, I hadn't come across it.
I want to see it. And there's another one called something else. Someone says here.
I need more information than that too.
There's one about the DLCs called Don't Touch That Dial.
That's a really great name for
now, for all I know, Angelic Chris could be the writer and editor of these magazines. And this could be shameless self-promotion.
I haven't come across that one either, but again, I will check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out as well. Hey, Paul, says, this is from Patrick and Jeremy's husband. Hey, Paul.
We have a fictitious throuple. Wonderful.
Do you know people actually ship themselves with your character, Jeremy Donaldson? I don't know what that means. What do you think of shipping characters in NFB in general? We're going to get flamed for the question, but we're curious. Do you know what that means to ship?
If I understand correctly, and I don't know how we can pause slightly to confirm if I've got this right, I believe the person imagines they are in some form of relationship with the character that they are following.
Oh,
So presumably, you have a relationship, or imagine what it would be like to be both with Jeremy and Patrick Bannon. Would that be correct? Just want to type a yes somewhere. That's...
okay.
Ah, Dennis, everyone is appearing.
Dan, hello,
Hi.
mate. He's made
What?
it. Look at this. Those who stuck around have been vastly rewarded this evening.
Well, I was going to say, what happened? I heard it was a you and Al stream, and the next thing I know, I see Bav in there.
Yeah, Bav turned up 10
Well,
minutes
Al
from the
politely
end.
left, which I hope wasn't because of me arriving.
No, we thought we'd overrun for 10 minutes because Bav was here and take some questions for him.
Oh, nice.
Which we're doing. So, Paul, what do you think of the fact that people ship themselves with your
I hadn't come across it as a thing until being in this game. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know what to make of it really, but I certainly don't have a problem with it. If that's what you like, then great. It just hadn't occurred to me, to be honest.
There's a link to the Not for Broadcast fanzines now in the chat from Angelic Chris at 1806, in case anyone wants to get that open for after we bugger off. Right. Any more questions here for Paul or for Dennis, who has now joined us? Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan.
I'm here for 5 minutes, so make your questions quick. I'm just coming to say hello to everyone.
Yeah. Well, we're wrapping up in 5 minutes because I've really got to go back to George.
New glasses, Dan. They suit you.
I think they're maybe new from the last time we spoke about it. It feels like forever.
Yes, sorry.
So yes, they probably are.
Without glasses at all. So for me.
Oh, well, yes, yeah, I wear glasses now. Yes.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, I feel very smart.
And sharper, hopefully. That's an interesting thing someone has just posted. Someone sort of headbutting / eating the camera by Plague Dog. Thank you. Old doll cam. That's pretty intense.
Paul, have you played through Not for Broadcast? And if so, what was your favourite bit?
I played through about half of it and then watched other people's playthrough of the rest of it. And therefore, at least allowed me to watch a few different outtakes or different interpretations or routes. So yes, I wasn't doing too well with the game mechanics, which is why I ended up just watching other people play it. But yes, I enjoyed it.
Sorry.
What was there was a nuance to that question which I haven't covered yet. What was the last bit of it?
What's the most fun part playing through?
Playing through. The most stressful part, which is the part ultimately I stopped at, is really quite early when I was trying to defeat Snugglehugs and keep the broadcast from crashing. The bit where they actually get in the room, I found that very intense. I wouldn't say I exactly liked it, but that was about as far as I got.
Where did Den go? He's vanished. He'll be back. When writing Julia, did you want to make her somewhat sympathetic? I relate to her a lot. Yeah, I wanted to make her very sympathetic. One of the problems with left-wing political sort of movements is that in order to have equality, you need quite a lot of enforcement. And so it's very difficult to keep everybody equal and keep things fair without quite a large state to kind of enforce that and keep it there. And I wanted Julia to be representative of that problem, of somebody who is motivated in all the right ways, but who sometimes her methods, she loses sight of what by necessity equality does to freedom. I hope that gives you the answer you're looking for. Paul is why we have story mode, says Uwu.
Yes, that wasn't there originally.
My friends watch me 100% all of NFB, and one of them has bought the game just to play himself. Uh, Thank you, the Plague Dog. Would have been better, obviously, if all of them had bought it, but that's
Still
great.
time, Jay. He can chip away
Still
at his
time.
other friends.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's it. Den has vanished without a trace. He does appear to have, but Den is the father of a brand new baby, and so he is prone to suddenly be yanked in all sorts of directions. Uh,
Animal, really.
Love that it's just that there isn't really an insane leftist character figure. So we
DJ, I would play the DLCs. I need to download them onto my computer, but yes, I would play them. Yeah.
Will you play them and will you stream yourself playing them to the people here watching so they can see exactly how intense that's going to be? Or is that a private shame that you feel should just be enjoyed in the company of your own bedroom?
I feel the wave of interest is not perhaps what it was when we launched.
I agree.
I suppose I could stream it. I hadn't thought about it, but I should really do the rest of the game first. So perhaps you could help with the spec requirements. I'm not sure my computer's really up to it these days, but
yeah.
I don't want a lagging experience. I'd find that very frustrating. But yeah, I wouldn't be against that either. But I haven't done that yet.
Plague Dog says their other friend didn't want to get it because he finds the game too intense and depressing. He once watched me pause the game because I was sobbing so hard. Okay, I've got to know.
That's not the best
like,
part to try and sell it on.
I want to know what bit made you sob so hard, or whether actually you were playing it and then you banged your elbow or something. Because obviously, as an egocentric writer, it's quite nice to know that we touched someone's heart. Right. Okay, just scrolling through. Law question. Are the people we see during the Disrupt secret meeting, the finale, the only leaders, or were there more? I get the feeling there were probably more, but these three were in London because you're talking about a country-wide, a European-wide movement. It can't just be those three, but they would be very high up because you had Jacob Hamilton Mann, you had, I can't remember the name of the character, but that guy, is supposed to be the total Nazi. And you have the former leader of Urkistan. That's quite a powerful meeting for Jeremy to be in.
You had the head of the army, didn't you? Or was that one of the
Yeah,
people?
that's right. You had the army rep, as well. Yeah. Imagine Paul wearing Jeremy's suit, playing NFB, and watching it. Yeah, they say if you're going to do it, you've got to do it in costume. Apparently, I don't know if that costume.
I've not a suit to stream it. Okay, that's going to get very, very meta at certain points.
Jeremy telling the player not to play the tape. That's what reduced Plague Dog's tears. Oh. So well done, mate. Good acting.
Well, sorry you felt so sad, but again, I suppose
if you're going to do it, you will need a sandwich.
Yes.
Judging from how they were put together, did you have a lot more planned for the episode 3 incidents, or do you consider them finished? That's an Andy question. Ask that next month, Angelic Chris. Andy was, I bet the answer is we had quite a few more because we were worried. We were constantly worried about holding people in those incidents for too long and not letting them get back to the main game, especially as when the game was in its early days, people really didn't like the incidents. The boring text bits in between because they didn't really understand the relevance of how they were going to flesh out the world. The question for me about the party accord, ask Al that one because he came up with a chord. It's a really nice idea. I really like it, but he would speak to that. Honestly, says Magic Spyglass, you did such a good job with Jeremy in general, Paul. Yeah, I mean, he did. Does Paul, do you own any props from the game? Earlier on in the stream, Al and I were digging out shit we nicked from the office when it closed, which are little bits and bobs of props. Did you?
I don't think I I've got anything in particular. I mean, I sort of live in a set, so there is
Yeah, I
that.
mean, looking around you, yeah, it is very familiar.
I obviously have the suit because it was my suit in the first place. So
Yes.
I've kept all the things I wore particularly for playing Jeremy. So they were mine already, but all right, I've kept onto them, and even if they end up not fitting me, I'd still keep them for
Yeah.
emotional.
Magic Spyglass
connection as well.
joked earlier that they would buy that suit if they had the time. I think they mean if they had the cash. Right. We're going to call it a day because it's 6:20, and I promised Jordan.
Yeah, I need to go. Well, eat food, not a sandwich. I'm going to make a pizza on this occasion, but I do wish to go and have dinner.
You know what can I
Right.
say?
The next
I
stream
die
is
hard.
on the 3rd.
You
of
actually saved me,
November,
you know.
Probably at 5:30.
What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm
Lovely to see
Sonic
you.
the Hedgehog.
Lovely to see you, Paul.
Lovely to see you, Jay.
Yeah,
Lovely to
we must
see
make
everyone in
contact.
chat.
I need-
Say hello. Thank you.
The next date that you and I have in our diary, Paul, is like end of November. Are you going to Heidi High?
I am going to Heidi High
What night?
Thursday.
Oh, I'm going on Friday. Damn. Oh well, that would have been good. Never mind. We need to get a date in though. I'd like to get a little bit of voice acting from you for the project. We're not allowed to tell everybody or
Oh,
anybody.
so you've just hinted at it. Have you just
Yeah.
hinted? Is that like a very
All I
subtle
do
nod?
is drop little hints that I'm working on a game without revealing any details whatsoever. But,
Well, for that big secret meeting, Jay, I'm sure we can find some time.
Fantastic. Excellent. Right. Love to you all. See you all next month. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate you. Honestly.
Bye, everyone.
A lot. Bye.